And alarm something to warn people of danger. When the student heard the fire alarm, they had the building apart. When people are think apart and they are not close together, the couple decided to live apart from each other. Arrest. To arrest someone means to catch them for doing something bad. The man arrested for breaking a law. Award. An award is bright something get for doing something wrong. He got an award for having the best grade in class. Brief. A brief a group of animals that is species. I like small dog breed such as terrier. Bucket. A bucket is a round container to both things them. I fill the bucket with water. Contest. A contest is a game or a race. The girl had a contest to see her could jump higher. Convict. To convict someone means to prove that they do a bad thing. We will convict of the crime and send to jail. Garage. A garage is the place of the hobby people put their car. My car do not get dirty because I keep it in garage. Journalist. A journalist is a person who writes news story. The journalist took note for the story he was writing. Pup. A pup is a young dog. All the girl wanted for birthday was a pup. Qualify. To qualify is to get or to be declared as a quick or good enough. He qualified to go to the final match by beating the opponent. Repair. To repair something is to fix it. I repaired the flat tire on my car. Resume. To resume something means to start it again after taking a break. I put the newspaper down to eat breakfast, then I resume reading. Rob. To rob a person or place is to take their property by using force. A thief had brought me my passport. Slip. To slip means to slide and fall down. The man slipped on the wet floor. Someone. Someone means to some degree but not to a large degree. Jim was somewhat upset when he had to move some process. Stable. When something is stable, it will not fall over. The chair was stable is like a storm. Tissue. A tissue is the some piece of paper we used to notice. There were boxy tissue on the table. Yard. A yard is the ground just outside the Persian Sound. The girl jumped right on the yard. The Farm Festival. One day was the farm. Many animals lived there. One day they had a contact with the John. They was going to race on the farm to the farmer to ride. The farm in the garage were frightened. It would be a long race. The winner qualified to win the best for a baseball in the world. But the race did not start well. The cart got almost not stable and the animal had to repair. Then the pup knocked over the apple. The big girl, we are going to sleep. We must clean up the mess. The pup felt bad and she began to cry. The dog gave her a tissue to wipe the tear. Then the rain resumed, but the dog tried to drop them and take off the apple. The cat said, I will have her arrested. The dog said, you can convict me. You can prove I took it. The race stopped there again. The animal tried to race one more time. Then they heard an alarm coming aboard. There was a fire. They got bucket and water to put out the fire. A journalist came to write the story about the frame, the words told her, I'm a special feeder form. I was have wondering see the rhyme. The pig said, it was somewhat hard to get the rain, but she had fun. That's work important. Three. 40% of all jobs we that many 10 years more disappear because of technology. It's going to be replaced by how well they get treadmill or they get the lottery. They got out to take over and do a project, but they can more than power told you the potential power execution from the my life, how to get the self SQL, they got to think of all flock and their head change. They got to meditate, got to think like. So we take a turn of successful, conversely the frost. Right everybody mind and frost and hear the distinct. Frost are the impossible way. And reduce your body was certain way I stuck in life based on a trend. I went to top in the different trend of the voice and confessed link like this. Got the TV set I told oneself. My camera channel as to a laughter turn was of the whole channel. Turn on channel romance channel. This is what trend is. With it the road tested you can start to realize that your thoughts can do thought the nothing they can buy the thought can arrive thousands of years. It can be tapping and your body will still the feel for a personal crazy so whatever feeling. And to go to a different part. What are people say that happen to see the front go back. So want to be a team by the store. Was the part what I got out that crazy fraud that taught me about a wrong mind. Not you, Michael, you had to change you pretty hard. But I really truly know I have a thought community at regional. You call them, you talk it or not, you point up, and arouse them. When you see Israel like go and letting go apart in one way to feed the shower, get them really good, to get muscle, then better and better all certain until to make crazy and thought out the communist thing to worry about. And never came to be less virtuous, practical. Not so much done because I don't it's done. I don't the outcome and the purpose. I look for purchase level different validation. What prior donation I got because of someone else and you tell don't do it for yourself. Level that I can do the big book of the world. You can little bit ever. You can get something I can do it with. I'm still part of it. So ever do that come yourself something good time. I want to so them like. The outcome equal to Thomas Center. The purpose, the why, and the action backward unit is not a reduction of the goal for their baby. And I want to talk to you the state the promise that checking the first need. The surprising. And the prop that come back to us back in journal and the collaborate and you have no time, real time to get a real tool. Outside, so I know that you too, you know, share of right. And all stuff you do can never but change answer. How are somebody do things that's what could take $125,000 that do that now? It get counted one way in the outcome. Leverage. They're gonna have to go one of the get somebody 20% of the stuff. I had 20 grand a difference that people would done that. If I really productive, my productivity will hand the world my the cry the cosmic or trace on my job the people. And the first thing you had to do to get even fractured on you and the poison disorder. So to hire somebody for those things. May do something like that. You never the grow will turn the activity for other than activity with a higher purpose. You could drain the fortune. Do it now. Then get it all out, but leverage is power. Leverage the ultimate power. Any choice? Every same as the eye. 40% old jobs the project and next 10 years are going to disappear because the technology is going to be replaced by our one will train. All they got industries, they are going to take over and get rid of those trade on the people knowledge and the knowledge and potential power execution Tom Norris will have control my life because the self because the I think our thoughts make a protection meditative trial the impossible sure somebody who from successful constantly the every day the mind think thoughts and they are distinct thoughts that will be invisible words. And when you use body in certain ways, like say like this, I'm going to try not to go top into different other words that's written like this. Kind of TV set, my turn one channel, maybe comedy channel, go to laughter, the one honor channel, then another romantic channel. This is what trend is. With the way to start you can start to realize what you further you can think the thought there's nothing unique about take around 1,000 years. Many tapping what you do on the party, feel through passing they just go whatever you feeling and they go and did a different force. So whatever people see, one how to see those thoughts go by. Then those stop. Crazy thought, whatever God ever got a crazy thought that not me, that the wrong mind. Not John Michael said you had to change your beauty heart. But I really truly know that ever thought commodity the original. You call them, you thought that they're not, you told them. And then when you feel that either let go of them and letting go apart, one the way you free the self again, the more you do it, the commercial, you get better, better, and better. All of a sudden, you feel to make crazy and track down, make everything you worry about, and never come to be leveraged is difficult. You know so much, Brent, because I don't get it done. I know the outcome, I know the purpose. I love for leverage. Leverage is different than delegation. But for delegation, you got to need to give someone else and tell somebody you trust you if it's off. Leverage said I can move the biggest world in the world with a little effort to get something I can do with. But I'm spoiled with so leverage in will leverage something out. I told my God to make sure them alive. The outcome I want to understand the purpose to write and be action. I want to attempt to get the stuff without projection and will go for the baby. And I want to talk to the state. I want to promise check it for free need. So no surprise. You have problem to come back to me because now I could never and do have no time, just time I got to leverage. I think the knowledge too. So shape over here, right? And all stuff you later can leverage it as an answer. Hi, somebody think about what it could take when go $25,000 can do that now. He to kick up the one way outcome. Leverage. They go through this, go somebody 20% of this stuff. I gonna spend 20 grand of that free paper from the 10. They are really productive. I provide TV so it has to grow and require the costly, but sure for a job of people. And real estate you had to do the cost either effective or a big appointment of Jora. So they hire somebody for those things. And I do is when you love that job. And never to grow and time to a for activity for icon activity when hire on purpose to train on the fortune. Do it now. If you can get off down the purpose, leverage a power. Leverage all until in error the choice. Genius can wait. For example, say I